Hello, friends. I'm Alan Fadling, and you're listening to the Unhurried Living Podcast, where we inspire you to rest deeper, live fuller, and lead better. Let me start with a question. What if love was the truest measure of who we are? Not our successes or titles, but the way we love and are loved. Today, we're exploring insights from the wise, contemplative soul of Thomas Merton, who wrote that love is what makes us real. Imagine a love that breathes life into us, a love that, when shared, multiplies and fills the world. Join me as we uncover how this love can transform us, connecting us to one another and, ultimately, to the heart of God. Today we're taking a deep dive into some timeless reflections on love, inspired by the spiritual insights of Thomas Merton. Merton, a Trappist monk, a theologian, and a poet, had a prophetic way of expressing deep spiritual truths. His words rise from a depth that resonates across decades, inviting us into a fuller understanding of love and what it truly means to be real. So let's start with this big idea. Love makes us real. In his book, New Seeds of Contemplation, Merton writes, "Because love is in me, it can come to you from a different and special direction that would be closed if he did not live in me. And because his love is in you, it can come to me from a quarter from which it would not otherwise come. And because it is in both of us, God has greater glory." Merton is saying that the love of God, this holy and sustaining love, flows through each one of us in unique ways. The love of God in me, because it is an overflow of the Spirit of God, touches you in a way that no one else can replicate. And your love, fueled by that same divine presence, can touch me in a way that nothing else could. There is a richness and a beauty in this. The love of God is uniquely expressed through each individual soul. It's as though God's love becomes this vibrant mosaic, unique and alive in each one of us. When I first encountered Merton's words, I was struck by the image of love multiplying. God's love isn't limited to a single stream. Rather, it's like a river branching out, widening, and touching all of us. I remember reading these words 30 years ago, feeling them like a refreshing breeze on my face, much like I do hearing them today. And I thought, just as a gentle breeze refreshes me, God's love is refreshing. It flows to and through each of us, touching everyone it reaches. But here's the question. Are we willing to open ourselves to this love? Are we willing to let it move through us, shaping our words, our actions, our thoughts? Will we remember that it is love that makes us and everything we do real? When we do, we allow God to be glorified in the purest way, not by showcasing our achievements or parading around with credit we feel we've earned. True glory comes in letting love expand through us. And isn't it remarkable that as this love multiplies, joy multiplies too? There's something utterly freeing about love that doesn't keep track, love that just flows. There's another line from Merton that states our big idea in this episode. He says, "It is only in this love that we at last become real." To be real, for Merton, is to align ourselves with God's very nature, and God is love. As humans, we can chase so many ways of proving ourselves through what we accomplish, through what we accumulate, through how much we impress others. But Merton points to a different reality, one that is more substantial, more enduring. He says that when we love, we are truly real because we are acting in line with the one who made us. Love simply is the greatest reality in all of creation. Think about it. How often do we find ourselves striving to be something, to be someone in the eyes of someone else? We presume that success or money or recognition will make us real, will make us whole. But all of that is fleeting, isn't it? Those things require constant reinforcement. They need to be fed, propped up, continually re-inflated as though we're pumping air into a leaky balloon. Yet Merton reminds us, it's love that makes us real. It's love that holds us steady and gives us an identity that doesn't waver. This love is not about surface level affection or approval. God's love sees us in our entirety and calls forth the truest parts of who we are. This is a mutual love, a love we share with one another. When we give and receive this kind of love, we mirror the divine reality of God, Father, Son, and Spirit, all existing in mutual, self-giving love. That is the image in which we were made, and it's only in that love that we come to life, that we become real, as Merton so beautifully puts it. Merton gives us one more profound insight when he says, "The beginning of the fight against hatred is not the commandment to love, but what must necessarily come before, to believe that one is loved." This is a critical insight. Love is rooted in faith in what we believe. So often when we encounter others who challenge us, who we find difficult, we might focus our energy into trying to obey the command to love. But Merton suggests that something essential comes before that commandment, the belief that we are already loved, deeply, fully, unconditionally loved by God. This faith, this assurance, is the foundation upon which true self-giving love is built. We love because God first loved us. I don't know about you, but I find this deeply freeing. It's not about gritting my teeth and forcing myself to be loving. That has never worked for me. Instead, it's about resting in God's love for me, and from that place, allowing love to flow out. Loving others is much more about agreeing with God's posture toward them. It's about aligning myself with God's heart, His kindness, His mercy. You see, God already loves the others I seek to love. When I start from a place of being loved and seeing others as beloved, I no longer see the command to love as a burden. It's no longer an obligation. It's a natural response. This changes the way we see others, too. Instead of looking at someone and immediately noticing what irritates or angers us, we can begin to see them as God sees them. I might not have it in me to naturally love a particular person, but God already loves them. And as I open myself to God's love, that love can reach them through me. Behaviors, attitudes, language, they matter. But they matter only insofar as they reflect the loving, gracious, merciful heart of our Creator. Imagine a world where people truly lived in alignment with God's love in Christ. How differently would we treat each other? How much more peace, understanding, and compassion would we find in our communities? This transformation begins with a simple yet profound shift. We allow ourselves to be loved. Now, as we close, let's reflect on this incredible truth that Merton shares with us. God's love is meant to multiply, to expand, to flow between us. When we open ourselves to His love, we not only experience a profound personal transformation, but we also become vessels through which that love reaches others. In loving, we become real. In loving, we share in the divine dance of Father, Son, and Spirit, a community of love. So I invite you, as God invites all of us, to pause, to rest, and to let the love of God flow into you and through you to others. We don't love as grudging obedience to a difficult commandment. We love because we are already loved, deeply, completely. Let's be people who live out this love in our words, our actions, and our presence with each other. Thanks so much for joining me today. May you make your way forward with a deep sense of the beauty and the power and the reality of God's love in Christ for you. Until next time, take care and keep letting love make you real. You've been listening to the Unhurried Living Podcast. You'll find many helpful links in the show notes so you can get to know us better, as well as our partner, Life Audio, and all of their other faith-centered podcasts. Join us next time to learn more about following the genius of Jesus' unhurried way of life and leadership.